dedicated to each and every one of you who appreciate a great glass of wine. You know what I mean?
It's Monday. Let's raise a glass to the beginning of another week. It's time to unscrew, uncork, or saber a bottle, and let's begin exploring the wine glass. We talk a lot about place in wine, but sometimes the best way to really understand a region is to just drop yourself right into the middle of it, even if you're doing it in your pajamas from the comfort of your own living room. I recently sat in on a fantastic virtual tasting that transported me straight to the breathtaking vineyards of Farra di Soligo with Farra Winery. They provided such a great experience that I didn't want to just summarize it for you. I wanted you to hear it for yourself. So in this episode, you are actually going to be a fly on the wall listening in to the live virtual tasting. We're going to be talking about everything that makes authentic Prosecco DOC so special. The history, the family, passion, and of course, those incredible slopes. Please take a moment of your time to subscribe, rate, and review Exploring the Wine Glass. It's completely free and is a great way to let other wine lovers know about the podcast. Be sure to head over to the website exploringthewineglass.com to read my award-winning blog and to see what else I've been up to. And most of all, please tell your friends about the podcast. Slancha!
Give me the red wine. Give me the blanche wine.
Hey everybody, I'm Lori Budd, a UC Davis winemaking program, Spanish wine scholar, sommelier service, champagne and Côte d'Aron specialist, and a WSET Level 2 graduate. You can find Exploring the Wine Glass on all the socials, as well as your favorite podcast catchers. If you haven't subscribed yet, now's the perfect time to swipe, subscribe, rate, and review. Stay in the know about all things wine by visiting my website, exploringthewineglass.com. I promise I'll never tell you what to drink, but I'll always share what's in my glass.
Water got turned right into wine.
Was started in 1997, continuing the family activity. When we graduated, we decided to continue the family activity, also bottling. My father and my grandfather used just to make wine, to cultivate wine and make wine just for family, for friends. And said now we decided to continue the family activity because of our love, I think, with our land. This is basically the reason. So we are quite a company, quite young, but in the same time with in just a quite long experience in this world. When we started, we had just we had no clients. We had 5 hectares of our own vineyards. Then year by year we gradually increased, and now we are present in around 22, 23 countries in the world. So step by step, it's a family issue, is the love of this land. Cynthia, you have to wait other people? Or okay,
Thank you. May I ask a question real quick? Just
yes.
A question. You said what generation are you? Your 4th generation?
Our family has always had vineyards. 4 or 5 generation, but we are just the first generation that decided to make wine for the sales. In the past, you know, like every farmer used to have different cultivation, cows, vines, and we were part of this old world. And we had vineyards in the hills where we have always cultivated vineyards. And but my father, my grandfather used to take the grapes to the cooperative. They hadn't the opportunity to make a wine professionally in a certain way, but just for the family. It was a tradition, a very common tradition in our area to make wine for our own family and for friends. Of course, when we were three siblings, and when we graduated, we had to decide what to do. And so, considering that my brothers studied enology at high school, and I used to help my family in the vineyards, updating the system of cultivation, introducing something new. It was almost natural to continue the family activity. So thanks to our parents, because we have to recognize that it was a big and enormous favor to give the family the opportunity to do what they prefer. So thanks a lot for my parents. And we started this way. It was the end of 19, when a moment in which the Italian market was quite full. And this is the reason why we decided to look at abroad. And in this sense, it was very important, the participation to the international fair Vinitaly and Provine, and with a lot of patience, but year by year we increased 1, 2 importers, and so we arrived at the result of this moment. So we are quite happy about the number then that I show you with some slide. Cinzia, if you agree, I can start sharing the video with a few.
Sure.
Okay. So we are, first of all, I have to say that La Farra is located in the hilly area of production of Conegliano Valdobbiadene in Veneto region, so the northeast of Italy. In this map, we can see an area, the green area that shows the area of production of Prosecco DOC. Instead, they are basically 9 provinces between Veneto region and Friuli Venezia Giulia. Just in the small yellow area, we have Conegliano Valdobbiadene. That is the historical area of Prosecco, the most suitable area because of, the microclimate, the characteristics of the soil, the land that make the Prosecco of Conegliano Valdobbiadene famous. And here we are in Farra di Soligo. Farra di Soligo is just in the center of this area, composed of 15 municipalities. The 2 main villages are Valdobbiadene, the production capital of the area, and Conegliano, which is the culture capital of this area, where there is the enology school, the first enology school in Italy. And we have our vineyards. Before starting to speak about the location of our vineyards, I would like to highlight the particular characteristics of this area, which has a natural vocation for viticulture. They are at the feet of the hills, the Alps, and they are protected from two mountains, Monte Cesena and Monte Visentin, that are very, very important for the climate. So here the cold wind can't arrive during the winter, and we have also always a more a fresher temperature during the summer. Like I told before, it's a hilly area. The hills stretches from east to west, and the shapes of the hills, the morphology is very various inside this area. In fact, in Conegliano, we have soft, slower hills. Instead, in Farra di Soligo, like I showed you before, we have very steep slopes, very steep hills, and in this case, you can see that just the south slopes are cultivated. Inside the top of the hills, and of course the north side are just forest wood. So it makes this place, according to me, very special, also because we have vineyards, but also forest wood in the same place, not just vines. And I return here, like I told you before, we have a special condition for for the cultivation of the vine, because during the summer, for instance, it rains much more than in the flat. You can consider, for instance, that there are a big difference from the hills and a flat plain at a distance of 10-15 kilometers. So really a special place. Here instead we have some pictures of our family. In this case, I have the first, we start from our grandfather, no, even more, my grandfather, I don't know how to say, but in this case instead, I have my grandfather, my father, Innocente, and me. Guido wasn't born, so it was before 1971. Instead, here there is Innocente, my father, me, and Guido, and now this is here we have the number of our winery, our company. So 1997, the date of the foundation. The partners, 3 siblings, the hectares, we started from 5 hectares. Instead, now we have 27 hectares of vineyards. 18 of them are in the hills, and in different location inside the Conegliano Valdobbiadene area. 9 hectares are at the feet of the hills where we produce the Prosecco DOC. The production of last year is around 700,000 bottles, was 100,000 bottles. We are a small company because we have 6 people that help us in the cellar and in the cellar and also in the vineyards, and of course for harvest and for the prune. For pruning, we have seasonal workers, normally groups of around for the harvest, because we harvest by hand in the hills and also in the flat. Around 20 people. So just to show you where our vineyards are located, I go back a little bit, I return to this map, because we have vineyards in Farra di Soligo, so in the center, and then in Refrontolo, and in San Pietro di Feletto, and in Follina, which is here. That is important because we have different characteristics of the soil, and that of course gives the wine different characteristics, different flavors. So I'll return to the this is Rive dei Nardi. Here we can see the steep slopes. We start, for instance, this is our vineyard. And so in this case, we start from 200, around 200 meters above sea level. And in this area, we can arrive maximum at 400. In this case, our vineyards arrive at around 336, 340. The top is forest wood, like I told you before. And ecco, here it's this slide shows the different characteristics of the soil inside the Conegliano Valdobbiadene area. So we have vineyards here in Farra di Soligo, where we have mostly a conglomerate, so a very poor soil, calcareous, mostly calcareous. In Follina e Refrontolo, instead, we have more stones, and instead in San Pietro di Feletto we have more clay and a soil that gives the wine more structure, more body. Towards Farra di Soligo instead, we find more flora and more fresh fruity aroma. In Follina, we have soil and temperature that gives the wine more acidity. That is also important because, like we see later, we produce different typologies of wine. 2 of them are produced just in Farra di Soligo, so they are produced. They show the characteristics of a specific soil. In another one, instead, we have a blend of different grapes. So we put together different characteristics of the soil to get a specific balance in the cellar. This is another view of our land. And here we have a bench of grapes. Because, and here you can see also people to show that in this place everything is done by hand. We harvest by hand, but everything, when we have to cut the grass, everything has to be done by hand. And it's clear that the hours of work are almost, I can say, even more than 3 times than the hours used in the flat plan. Quindi, so different kind of a world, different beauty, I say. This is our cellar. We have 2 buildings, and also these show the gradual increase of our winery, because at the beginning we had a smaller building, then we restored and we built this yellow building, and then in 2004 and 2012 we built inside this the white building. Now we have a project also to restore again, to make some changing, but we'll see the next future. Here inside, we are inside the cellar. Like every cellar of Conegliano Valdobbiadene Prosecco Superiore, we find just steel tanks. We have the autoclaves where the second fermentation takes place, and the normal tanks where we store the wine. Our philosophy is very simple, in the same way also very difficult, because we are aware that we can get an excellent Prosecco Superiore just from starting from an excellent quality of the grapes. So we try to cultivate directly the vineyards. It's very important to respect the time of the single operation we have to do, to see if a season, for instance, is dry or it rains a lot. Also to consider if we have to cut, for instance, the leaves, if we have to get the grass grow or not, because there are a lot of different attention particular that permit to have a best quality, considering the different situation of each season. It's clear then in the hills we do not have the chance to give water to the plants. We have just to adopt particular technique, I don't know if I can say technique, that permits to arrive to a good grapes, a good production. So we have, we can say that the interpretation of the wines is in a certain way handcraft, even if it's very important to use a very modern technology, not to change the wine, but just to preserve the original characteristics of the genuine characteristics of the grapes. We think so. We try to put attention to pay attention also to the environment and to the health of the consumers. So even if we are not an organic winery, because in our area it's almost impossible to have to get a good production, a good quality, because of in our area we have properties parcel very small, and you have just to consider that in the Conegliano Valdobbiadene area we have around 3,000 hectares, and sorry, no, maybe they are 7,000 hectares, and inside we have more than 3,000 producers, and so the properties are very small, and so this is the reason why we decided to follow the route of the certification SQNPI, sustainability quality. So we have adopted, for instance, some indication given by our consortium of Conegliano Valdobbiadene. So we pay attention to the items, to the products. We avoid the words, certain products, and instead we use other one, and also we are certificated Equalitas for economic, ethical and environment sustainability. This is from last January. We have also a photovoltaic system, and so we always are looking. We always looking for to improve something also in this sense, because it's clear that the climate change is a factor, and we have to do everything we can to limit the bad consequence of it, and also to avoid to contribute to the pollution of the environment. Here we have a slide that shows our markets. Even if we have increased lately the domestic market, at the moment we have around 38% of the sales in Italy and 62% instead abroad. Our main market is the European wine. About the American US, we have around the 10% US, 9.83%. Canada is around 2%, and here instead we show the states where we are present. We are present in Texas with Vino Vero, located in Houston. We are present in California with Lira, Fine Wine Import. And we are present also in Illinois. Our distributor is Butera Wines, and importers is Morgan Imports. We sell around for 40,000 bottles per year. We were present till the pandemic, also in Washington DC and in New York State. In Washington State and in New York, but then the guys closed the activities, and so we are. If possible, we are still looking for to find new opportunities in your country. After that, we can pass to the wines.
Sorry, Ada Maria. Just
Yes.
a question.
Yes.
Are you tasting now, or you prefer to taste later at the end of the day?
For
You
For
taste-
her, it's the end of the day. For us, it's the early day, right?
Okay.
So, hey,
So
can I ask a question?
Yes.
Sure. You're welcome.
Thank you. So 43,000 bottles. I'm surprised that the sales. So 43,000 bottles. That is, gosh, what is that? Let's see here. Let me do the quick math. Yeah, that's what 3,500 cases. I'm surprised it's so low in the United States, because Americans love sparkling wine, and they certainly love. They really love Prosecco. So what do you have a plan for increasing the U.S. sales? I know all three of I don't know them well, but I'm familiar with all three of these importers. Are you said you're actively looking for more importers? Is that part of your strategy, is to actively increase production here in the U.S.? And if so, what are you doing to do that? Because Prosecco, people love Prosecco here.
For instance, till now, if I understood well your question, till now, our main way to find a new customer is it was the fairs, like I told before. So, for instance, we met Cristina Vinovero at Vinitaly, Christian Valbruzzoli di Lira at an event organized by our consortium of Conegliano Valdobbiadene. It was a sort of workshop through the US. In that year, I remember we had New York and San Francisco, and there we met Christian. Instead, John Butera wrote, I don't know how he discovered us. Now, for instance, we are attending, last year we attended Vinitaly Chicago in October, and we are returning this year, but this year is New York, the city chosen by Vinitaly. It is always strange. I don't know which is the best way. In our experience, till now, I repeat, it was the fair, or maybe the advice, the suggestion of somebody that knew us. It's clear that now everything is changing. We are asking about the role, even the role of the fairs, because we see our importers and they used to go to the fairs just if they if they have to find new wines to see the mood. Sometimes they arrive to us with a lot of information, so they studied before. It's a very various the way. For instance, at this moment, we have a distributor from North Carolina who is looking for an importer. And so he asked our Vino Vero in Texas, but they can say sail just in Texas. So who knows how the guys from North Carolina entered in contact with our wines. I don't know. Sometimes they write us directly to ask for supplying the wine. I don't know
Ada
your
Maria,
opinion. Yes.
I have a question maybe related to Frank's question. For the moment, considering the map you're showing us, for the moment, as a company, for you is sufficient these 3 points in the whole United States, or are you looking for a more extended coverage? For you is sufficient for the moment.
But it's we can't say it's sufficient or not, because we have our own production, and we sell according to the request of the market. We have at the moment we also sell the wine, not bottling, to other industries. So it's clear that we have the chance to increase a little bit. And this is the reason why we are looking for new importers. For us, it's always better to go out with our label instead to sell just a liquid to the big industry. And this is the reason also because we are increasing the hectares, and in this moment we have this chance. So we sent you 3 different typologies of Valdobbiadene Prosecco Superiore. The first one we are tasting is extra brut, just to starting from the lower level of sugar and then going up. So we are starting with Valdobbiadene Prosecco Superiore Rive di Farra di Soligo Extra Brutta. The first thing we have to say is it is Rive typology. That means that is a wine made just from grapes grew up in a specific place. A vineyard we have up in the hills of Farra di Soligo. In this case, the wine shows the characteristics of the soil, the microclimate of that specific place. The residual sugar in this case is 5 grams per liter. The other very important characteristic, according to me, is the long refinement of this wine at contact with the yeast after the second fermentation. That makes this wine an unusual, a special interpretation of Conegliano Valdobbiadene Prosecco Superiore, just because this yeast give their own flavor to the wine, so the bouquet is more complex, and it is still written Brut, Rive di Farra di Soligo Brut, because the typology, cioè the chance to call a wine extra brut was introduced just in 2019, see, and we produce according to the same characteristics, so the production in the hills is lower than in for Rive typology than in the other respect of other normal Conegliano Valdobbiadene Prosecco Superiore. And in this case, I repeat, we have this particular bouquet, I taste with you. This particular bouquet, which is due to the action of the yeast, because the wine stay with the yeast for 3 months after the second fermentation. So the refinement is very particular.
I can send you, of course, Frank, I can send, and all the others, I can send you text sheets after the meeting if you, yes.
Yeah, Chinta, I would like it just for the extra brut. I would like that one.
Sure.
Yeah, because extra brut is something, Lori, I don't know how it is and where you're at. Are you in California?
Sì, mi sembra, sì, Ada Maria, siete in California. Are you?
Okay.
Yes.
Ada Maria, are you selling only DOCG wines in the US or also a DOC?
Also DOC. Also DOC.
Also DOC. Okay.
Yes.
Not only DOCG wines. Okay.
No, they are, for instance, the importer from Texas that buy just Valdobbiadene, Prosecco Superiore, and also Rive di Farra di Soligo, and others instead that buy both DOC and DOCG. Yes.
Okay, fine.
Yes.
Thank you.
I can't. I don't explain you. Don't say anything about the characteristics of the product because you are professionist and you of course know very very well the characteristics of the wine. But in case you want you have some question. I'm here to answer.
Yeah, I like extra brut is something that is very popular, at least with the people that my friends, my cohorts here, especially in the restaurant industry. It's sommeliers, they really like it, but what sells with consumers is the extra dry. So the one with higher sugar. That apparently is more popular with consumers.
Yeah, it's true. We see that in the country where there is the culture of French wines, they immediately start. They prefer low level of sugar, so extra brut and brut. Instead, even if then. They like also the typical interpretation of Valdobbiadene, but if they have to choose, they prefer extra brut. Instead, when you enter a new market, a market where people don't know this product, they immediately prefer a little bit sweeter version. We are realizing that even in a market where, for instance, extra dry was the best seller wine, more you know a product, and more you tend towards a lower level of sugar. I think is a knowledge issue. After a while, you need to take to avoid the sugar and to taste just the soul of a wine. This is the opinion, in my opinion, at least, after a while. Yes, I completely agree with you. And this is, for instance, when I meet some new people at a fair, or they come here in the cellar, they ask for extra dry and they instead prefer brut. So I have learned that it's very important to let them taste all the products we have. It's the only way we have to put them in the best condition to choose, because the classification is absolutely crazy, and it's a disaster for the consumers. Also, I have realized that the extra dry with a good balance in sugar, it's anyway appreciated. It is it's a typical, is the most famous, the most known version, but even in culture, in countries in which people prefer very, very low residual sugar content, they like it anyway. We have, according to me, just to explain, to educate them, and to let them taste the differences. That is very important, also because they have a product, an element of a comparison. They can, when you taste a product with a special characteristics, at least an authentic product produced in the historical area of production, they have a meter of valuation, a meter of comparison. They can say, I prefer one instead another one. That is, according to me, very, very important. Okay. In this case, we produce just around 16,000 bottles per year, because we know that is a product, a version for lovers, for people who knows this product, the characteristic, who loves this interpretation, and in general, people prefer a little bit easier version of wines. So we could pass to the Valdobbiadene, Prosecco Superiore Brut, millesimato, 2025. Our wines are Glera 100%. In this case, with the blue label, we have a wine made from grapes grew up in different locations, in the 4 different locations I show you before. We put together, so grapes with different characteristics. So grapes from Farra di Soligo with a more fruity aroma. Grapes from Farro Follina with more acidity, and grapes from San Pietro di Feletto and Refrontolo with more body. And we create a blend in the cellar after tasting all the vats in which the wines are kept after the harvest, and we create a blend that permits also us to offer the same quality of the wine to our product for all the year. In this case, so we are 4 microclimate, different microclimate areas, and we have the typical refinement. So 2 months and a half, 3 months after the second fermentation. The residual sugar inside is a little bit higher, at 10 grams per liter. And all these elements make this wine, we can say, the more modern version. Also a more pleasant version of wine for the consumers in general. It permits to better smell the fresh fruity, the higher level of sugar, and the typical refinement, the classical refinement permits to better smell the fresh fruity aroma. It is this bottle. We have realized, in our experience, that to give the visitors the opportunity to go through the hills, to see the vineyards, the slopes, the hills, permits them to immediately understand the culture that is behind the wine, the differences in the big world of Prosecco. And so we also have a nice building in the hills where we can have a tasting just in the middle of these vineyards. And I think it is a very particular experience. So,
do you have other questions? Are you okay?
This is great.
Everything.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all guys for your time and for your presence. Thank you, Ada Maria, for your exposure, and okay, thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Have a nice day. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
This has been another episode of Exploring the Wine Glass. Thanks for listening. If you have suggestions on what topics you would like me to discuss, please reach out on social media. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook as Exploring the Wine Glass. I am also on LinkedIn as Lori Hoyt-Budd. Of course, you can always email me at exploringthewineglass@gmail.com and sign up for my newsletter at exploringthewineglass.com. If you enjoyed what you heard, please rate, review, and subscribe to help others find me more easily. And most importantly, tell your wine-loving friends, because if you like the podcast, they will too. Podcast music is Wine by Kevins. Until next week, slancha.
You and I can feel the vine. That was no brandy, that was no martini. Irish coffee, banana, daiquiri, sweet Merlot. Give me the Nebbiolo, Tempranillo, all the lovely Barolo. You are special, so very, very special. You are so special. respect showed you even in the Bible. Give me the red wine. Give me the white wine. Give me the sweet wine. Give me the wine. Give me the wine. No, no, no. Oh, no, no, no. Never let you go. Oh, oh. No, no, no. Never let you go. Oh, no, no, no. I want it like glass right now. I'm on TV for my 10,000 tell you.